We continue to bring you great conversations about young people that are doing great things. My name is John Ikondja, and peace to the planet. Welcome to Juvenile Podcast, where we talk about all things great, all things young people, all things happening in the country right now. Yeah, man, our guest today is a young, vibrant, multi-talented school teacher. I've heard, safety, sea safety rescue expert, Jonas Sheyavali. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, man. It's funny, eh? And I don't know where to start. You have so many things that you're juggling. Which one is it? Which one are you going to just stick to and say, you know what, this is it?
That's a conversation everybody always present to me. What is your passion? But then I'm like, in a land of poverty and a land of so many things, you can't have a passion, especially in Africa. Yeah. And if you see a need to help, to stand up, or just to do something great to somebody, it's not always about you, but how does it impact people? And that's, you can eliminate certain things.
So you do all of these things because you have a big interest, and you also want to, make a few coins out of it so you can,
Yeah, I can say that, but in itself, there are so many things that I do volunteering.
Yeah.
I've been doing them for years.
Is it?
And I've just loved them. I just love them, and it's always good to meet people and engage, and when it's authentic, value for value.
That's the way. That's when it's the best.
Yeah.
Okay, but tell us, man. Before we almost even dived into a conversation without getting to know who you are as a person. Tell us about yourself, man. Who would you say Jonas Sheyavali is?
Person of passion. I think it's just, I don't know, because you get to a point where you just grow. You feel like everything is normal. You feel like this is what people are supposed to do. But then I don't want to dive in that. But I'm 26 years old now.
26?
Yes.
Wow,
and
very young.
I love what I do, and I love my town.
Wow. Okay, so where is it that you grew up? Seeing that you said you love your town, where is this town?
This town, I know Namibia is a big ocean, but it seems like that's only important part of the sea.
Of the sea.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's a Swakopmund town.
It's
like we can even name it the capital.
Okay. Apparently it should have been the capital, a lot of people say.
It will still become.
It will still become.
Give it time.
What needs to happen for that place to be officially called the city, do you think? In your opinion?
It will become a tech world, tech city. I think it has the potential to grow into a technological advanced area.
Okay.
And as you have seen around the world, the media and digital world has skyrocketed. So I believe that city has that potential.
Okay, so let's go to growing up as a young boy. Where did you go to school? How was it like growing up in the coast? At that time, at exactly that time of you when you were young. Just take us through the journey.
Growing up, I grew up with my father and mother, but then in grade 3 somewhere there, my mother got a job in Window.
Okay.
So she came, and then I started staying with my father for some years, and then later I just ended up there. I ended up in the hostel, which is where actually I learned some of the strongest lesson on how to be strong. Because you are there, you are small, you're in grade 3, you have to grow through that. So that's where I learned most of the skills. But then my primary school was Friede Riede, and then I finished at Triple S Swakopmund Secondary School.
Okay.
And in that year, I was the head boy, so I picked up some leadership skills there. Okay. And I learned at least how to be responsible.
Okay. Yeah, I like the fact that you were a head boy, you said, man, because, I think it has leadership, in fact, at a very young age is very important. Just to a young person who's watching this episode right now, what do you think they should really... Why do you think they should take leadership at a very young age? That quality. Why is it so important?
Leadership, it's something that we just can't explain it into motion, and it's a sense of responsibility. I think you committing to duty than actually committing to the attention or the publicity or the title as it has been accepted. But in so doing, I think young people, we're still learning and we are growing. I think we just need to get to that level where we take a bit of seriousness in our conversations and how we want things to be.
What were the influences that almost took you out of the way in high school? obviously having had such a big position as a head boy, there are obviously these things that we always want to, deroot you from, just being a leader in that regard. But what was it like? What were those influences you really avoided, and some of these things that were always in your way?
That's amazing. I quite had this a group of friends, so we're solid, and we used to go to church mostly. So I think the church aspect was very important to our growth.
The religion.
Yeah, and that time we didn't really understand all these things as we do now. But I believe just that commitment help it generalize on all aspects of life.
Yeah.
So you take it as a duty. So, but my friends at school, they really helped me, and now even today I'm happy where they are because we still have that strong bond and connection. So that's what I take.
So all of your friends are also doing as well as you now?
Yeah, not as much, but we are there. We are getting there.
This is true competition.
That's we are getting there.
Okay.
We love what we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So high school was great, and then what happened after high school? You went to tertiary?
High school, tertiary. Yeah. Actually wanted to become a paramedic.
Paramedic?
Yes.
So that's what drawn you to being a sea safety rescue?
Yeah.
Pretty much the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
Because the team that was in the coast was mostly also responding to emergencies at the sea. So in growing up, we used to swim a lot.
Yeah.
Like I used to swim a lot.
I can't swim.
I think it comes with a hyperactiveness. That's that energy to.
So you can literally swim in the ocean.
Yeah.
How far can you go?
As far as at least 5 kilometers, because I'm planning an event before December. So I'm planning to swim from Strand Hotel to Platzamie, and that's
How
a
long
stretch
is that?
of 4 kilometers.
4
at least.
kilometers?
Yeah.
But are you trying to die? First of all?
Young people are doing funny things, but yeah, I'm not planning to go anytime soon.
Okay.
Because I believe there is a bigger vision, not just based on me. I believe that this journey has been so amazing, and I always put God in everything.
Nice.
If that is the point, I think God is in everything.
Okay. So you wanted to do, you said first aid?
Yeah. But then I had a boss, like a mentor. He said, "You talk too much to be in the back of an ambulance, you know."
Okay, explain that, please. What are we talking about? They're probably scaring patients and everyone.
No, that's not the point. You are saying it to me like you talk too much to be a paramedic, to be in the back of an ambulance, helping one person. Like your nation needs you, boy. Like you always philosophical, and paramedics don't talk too much.
Yeah.
So, but find something that you can impact people, and he's a great man.
Okay.
And he taught me so much because I worked with him for 7 years.
7 years.
So each
That's a long
holiday,
time.
I used to go pack emergency packs, and then after that, I distribute them at roadblocks. So as the people come for the festive season, I was always dishing out those. So and he taught me a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how far did you go with wanting to become a first aid practitioner?
That journey is still in my current profession, but mostly I do more knowledge based.
Knowledge base.
Yeah. Why did I move from wanting to be practical to a knowledge based and
More theoretical.
Yeah, theoretical.
Nice.
Because there is this culture and tendency that I got along the way. You know, while you're trying to do this, and then there is the African culture, our traditions, they're always not aligned with what we always want to do. So I started at least, how do I best address the safety aspect? And then I realized, after doing my at least research thesis, I realized that
Which year is this?
I did this in 2019.
2019.
Yeah, because I studied at the Finnish University.
Oh, in Finland?
Yeah, in Finland.
Wow.
So, and that brought me that background that at least as I gained expertise, theoretical, and then I started doing practical lessons for children to learn how to swim and all that. So I'm quite far in the profession, not directly the way I wanted to take, but
describe Finland for me. Because I ask this because it's you find that most of the people are doing really well, but there are also a few that are finished studying here. Studied here, didn't even have any international experience, but they're doing so well. But then there's this thing that people say about the international experience, that one gets to come back and really have a really wide understanding or motivation to want to do a lot. What was your experience from Finland?
Oh, cold, freezing.
The freezing cold.
So,
I mean, you're from the coast, so it's probably must have been a balance.
No. I also thought so.
Okay.
But then I think it's freezing.
It snows there
Yeah,
as
snow is not as beautiful as it looks.
well. So says everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all white, but when it comes to how it feels, it's freezing.
Okay.
But then you have these long nights where winter, you don't just get the sun at all. But you still have to go to school. That's the beautiful part of it. And for them, they are just normal.
Okay.
So, but then comes summer, you have all night, day.
Yeah.
You just have day. You decide, am I gonna sleep at 3 o'clock in the night? But it's light. So
you studied in Finland. You said the University of Finnish.
it's a Turku, University
Turku.
of Turku.
Okay. So what was the experience like? What when you came back? How did you see Namibia like?
It was quite emotional.
Emotional.
Yeah.
Explain that.
Because I saw, at least for the first time, I saw the gap and the big deficit. And these conversations are beautiful, but I think they are killing our potential to expand and grow. Because I came back, the first thing that I did, I visited DRC, an informal settlement in Swakopmund. And then,
Oh yes, I thought you meant DRC the country, but
No,
yeah,
the country.
we definitely know it. That is okay.
Then there was this, because I came back for holiday. That was a good part of it. Summer I had to come back, and then I went back to my studies again. So
Okay.
in that moment, I just came to reconnect back home, and I really took that sense of responsibility. Like, wow, we are still in the process.
Did you want to start something?
Yes, I always felt like, yes, we can start something, but I felt like it was not the right time. But then I presented certain ideas, and we also taught on how to handle them, because you can't just try to enforce things.
Exactly.
And, so we did a orientation back home.
On what? And what is that?
On how to behave and certain things. Like, it won't always be the same. So there's a lot of theory involved, and that's a beautiful part about everything. You
Yeah.
always caution
Yeah.
on things that you can encounter.
Tell us about education. Where did education come in?
Education at school, being, I think, a head boy gave me that sense. Like, I already felt like I was a teacher, or I felt like I was at a different level than the other school kids. So I had my own little office. So I created that aroma, like, okay, this is my space.
What you teach at high school or?
No, currently I teach at the primary school in Valves, but I also taught at the high school, but I had to come down due to some levels that were allowed for us to at least practice.
And you teach which subject?
I teach all subjects,
Oh,
did
wow.
not specialize in anything. So, because it's most often educational science, subjects that are taught in basic education.
Yeah.
So the idea was actually to try and see where these subjects correlate, or where there is a common ground for us to at least try and help ourselves. Because one thing that the people do is that the Finnish people, they believe that at a certain point, I think the skills, the specialization is going to narrow that gap for us. Because if you look in the newspaper, the rate of unemployment is high, but then you see posts are being re-advertised. And what does that tell us? So the skills are not matching with the professions.
Exactly.
So the evolution in the industry, and it's that gap that we need to fill in. So that's why if I'm involved in so many projects, I see a potential there, and I feel the need to take that responsibility. Because following one path can be so narrow sometimes. So,
but then you of course try to follow some paths where you know you can fit in, or you can lay your hands on, not literally just not anything.
Yeah, not just anything. Because it boils down to ethics and morals and all these ideas. And because there is a lot of projects out there that has presented their proposals, like, we see you are doing good, help us here and there. And one thing I try to stay a bit away from political projects.
Exactly.
Because I believe they have a way of bringing a potential down in a certain way. But in all said, you still have to abide by the law and follow some policies.
You spoke there about politics, which was going to be my next question. What's your take on politics? Are you also participating in politics as well? Do you have any interest there?
As a spectator.
Spectator?
Yeah, it's a participator.
But you also do get to vote and everything, right?
Yeah, I do vote.
Okay.
I
What's your take? Why spectator not get involved? I mean, you seem to be an educated person. I feel like I mean, a leader, for instance, you can bring about some change.
I'm fascinated about African studies.
Ah.
And if you check very well, you will see that there's a certain level that I think you just want to follow. And if you want to be, you can either choose to be in the education, or you can choose to be in the politics. Because then if you bring that two, at some points you'll have to express yourself eventually, and that's what I don't want, a slow death. Yeah.
So what would you say to a young person watching this right now? Do you think they should get involved into politics? Do you think they should be a spectator like you?
No, politics is for the people.
Okay.
Yeah, if a person has a deep interest to lead and to help people, I encourage them to go for it. Because there are some kids in high school that has, I don't know, better insight on certain topics, but it seems like there is still that blockage that their voices are not going through. So, and certain things is like I said, we like seminars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So you also you always see you posting up pictures of with a group of kids at sea, and seems to really love the ocean. Tell us a bit about that.
No, I love the sea, man. Because what else is out there powerful than water?
But another thing is the thing about the coast, in Belfast by Swakopmund.
Yeah.
Young people in that area. I mean, you really see that place is really mostly known to be a party place. A lot of young people there are partying. Do you think a lot of young people there are not really taking their lives seriously? Seeing that whenever it's December, whenever it's a certain period, everybody wants to go to the coast.
Yes.
Everybody wants to have a good time and party. But how do you describe the youth of of the coast?
That's a powerful question, because the problems that the youth are facing in the coastal town and all these areas, it's very painful to parents, to teachers, to leadership even in itself. Because for so long now, the coast has been trying to bring change in the lives of young people. Because these parties and everything, newspaper, teenage pregnancies, it's mostly in the coast. And I think the young people, we are challenged there. But I believe, like you said, I like posting pictures with kids and programs, because I believe that the youth can only get most of the solutions through these programs and projects. Because if they can dedicate their time to something that they love doing, I believe there is at least that shield that protects them, a place of comfort to go to.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm so passionate about this project, and I look forward to expanding it, because it's already in motion. And it's something that we do in the open. So we want to bring that change through those projects and just engage with the young people. And through doing so, I actually got an opportunity from the First Lady's office. They were looking for somebody in the coast to establish at least a communication channel with. So they wanted to do a Be Free campaign there to engage the youth of the coast. So then they reached out to me. I was quite surprised, like, okay, I know there are problems here, I know there are youthful matters, and then I was honored at least to be on the panel, and then we discuss youthful matters and how we can best go about them.
Yeah.
And it was at a critical time during COVID-19 when schools were opening and closing, given that Erongo was the first to be in that lockdown situation.
Exactly, yeah.
So
it's really hard.
Our youth didn't take that lightly, and it was a great opportunity at least for somebody to engage them, and that has caused so much impact. And then the kids started being interested in the project. So, and then recently I was also acknowledged as the ambassador for the project for the Erongo region, and I've organized a watch party for the last event.
Wow.
At least then the kids, they came.
They came through.
They came through.
Okay, but what more needs to be done?
What more needs to be done? Practical projects, which is football, which is swimming, which is just sports centers. Because there is a sports facility right now, the Dome.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a sport facility, and I think parents should get more on board.
But is it accessible to the young people?
To a certain extent, and I think this comes down to finances.
Exactly.
That is why my project and our project, we don't charge any person any cent, because we believe that the people that we need to impact don't even have the financial means to redirect certain funds to the budget. That's why we mostly just focus on community projects.
All right. You also have another project of the backyard gardens that you're also doing. How important is food security? Because you understand that you also do this to feed a few families and stuff like that.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that.
Okay. Food security it's I always tell people, like, it's not even supposed to be a conversation, because every day we think of food, every day we think of eating. So the question boils down, what is actually there to discuss in food security? Isn't this just practical and logical that we should just adapt it? And I think a few months ago we wanted to cry because of the chaos in South Africa. But suddenly as the chaos went down, we forgot that we're in a deficit.
Ish.
But with this program and project, I believe it brought me a sense of responsibility, because apart from swimming and teaching, I also do content creating.
Oh.
So I create a lot of digital content.
Okay.
And then I also do creative writing. I think it's the first thing that I said, perception. How do people think about certain things?
Next.
And I believe that's why people have redirected me to assist them. But this, I'm not directly involved. I only create content for them and tell their story to the
But then
audience.
tell us about your online or social media as in general. What's your take on it and how young people use it nowadays?
Social media is a powerful tool, especially now. Like, the young people have adapted social media for lessons and everything.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the digital world, it's about the way we also think of this technology. So young people can either adapt it in a positive way or in a negative way. And social media has a lot of negative connotations. Parents don't even really trust kids to be around these media things, because they know that there is so much that is uncontrollable.
Yeah.
You can't say you are an expert in the digital world, because this is an ever evolving world, and big companies are even facing it, because they are content creators. There's always a young generation.
Yeah.
Trust me, somebody in grade 6 or a 6-year-old will be creating better content than
But then,
than somebody out
the
there.
thought might be there. The thought might really be there, but to what extent does it need to be, broken down to and really brought to reality? We want to speak to a young person out there who's really, having that thought in that grade 6, like you said. How do we motivate that young person to really, living in the country that we live in right now?
I believe social media, not just social media, the tech world can actually solve most of our problems, especially unemployment. This is why I also started up a company, Itavela, where now I started creating content under that branch. And I believe that if we can just show them the platforms, even YouTube itself is a whole market.
Yes, true.
And all these social media, they are big markets. It's just to our youth has that potential to access it. And this boils down here to tools, equipments, and all this, and finances involved. And then there are always projects that are funded, but then the requirements, they are too high for people that actually need this assistance.
Yeah.
That's why I'm actually looking at, I have a partner, and we are looking at actually building a youth hub.
Youth hub.
Yeah, where I also presented this to the Sogomon leaders and all those.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did they take it?
It's in the developing stages.
Okay. So there's hope.
What I hope is that there's a lot of skill out there, but it's not accessible. Young people are really talented.
Do you think, leaders, as in all leaders in general, take young people seriously who are trying to bring up better ideas and trying to table them? Do you think they take them seriously? Because you find that some people really have good ideas, man. They want to bring them out. They want to save the world. They also want to bring about change. But when they present this to the government or whoever, whatsoever leader, most probably it might not even end up taking place. So, to what extent do you think the government really takes us seriously as a youth to, bring about change? Because they always speak about youth empowerment and all of that.
Yes. Now there has been a lot of projects that are youth-oriented.
Yeah.
And the seriousness, I feel like we are growing. And there is still this self-discovery.
Okay.
There is still this wild destination that we are trying to achieve, or at least reach that level. But I believe at least now there has been that transition of trust from elders to the young generation. Because the requirements in the markets right now, they require us to be visible, they require us to be concise, and the media, like I said, it has even changed the political narrative. Because now you don't rely only on newspapers or funded projects, because now social media is I call it the new prosecuting platform.
That's Twitter to be exact. Okay. Yeah, you also work with Miss Namibia as well.
Oh yes, recently.
Recently just started.
Yeah, because she's from Swako.
Yes.
There's been a lot of stories around, but those are good stories.
Okay.
Yeah, and one thing I like about it, because I was asked about 3-4 months ago, but unfortunately I had a lot on my plate. But then as we grow, as time passed by, I started going on social media more, and then I realized that there is a vision that needs to be explored, and there is a story to be told. This is an African Dora.
Yes.
Like she is a Dora of this land. So when they asked me to help and assist, first I declined, not
Why?
really, because I had a lot to do.
Okay.
And
that's a lot on your plate,
yeah,
like
it
you
was
said.
a lot
Yeah.
on my plate. And then at the end, I was also a bit skeptical as what is your profession, So now you are promoting that and that, people lose interest. And it is important for me to remain true.
Yeah.
But when I realized at least the importance of assisting, because it was just supposed to be a promotion for her fundraising to raise funds, which the event was successful and it got the necessary momentum. So I just created a Facebook page, people invited, it grew, and then that's how I promoted the event at the last minute, and it was successful, but it was not my event.
Okay.
And that is as far as it went.
Okay. Yeah, but you're indeed like a really busy guy. Just how do you really just want to have all of these things on one plate? How when do you want to think, when do you want to rest? Like, the young people say, rest bafuet.
I have a good brother.
Ah.
I have a good brother. He always tells me, primary purpose, boy, primary purpose.
Really?
And he keeps repeating it so much. And the good thing is that I got used to failure. Not everything succeeds.
Yeah, not true.
I also got used to little victories.
Yeah.
And I think that boosts a person's motivation.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
small performance, those achievements, they give you that sense, I can get more out of this. And since kindergarten, I believe, the people that know me, they've always been waiting, when is this guy going to stumble so hard so he falls? But I was just like, guys, it's not about stumbling or winning or succeeding. It's just about you giving that potential. And I always say this, like when I go swim in the sea, I sometimes have no spectators. I go swim at night, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock.
That would never be me.
But it's just that thing that gives me the energy that I need for that moment.
Okay.
It's that thing. So
Sure. All right. You also were running a career week in the coast.
Yes.
At some point. How successful was it?
the universities came,
Oh,
and
wow.
the learners were engaged.
Okay.
I did this in collaboration with the principal of Deneser High School, because he asked me, at least, Jonas, how can we go about this? Then I was like, this is great, because he grew to the level where he trusts the certain instincts. So, and then we planned it at a very dangerous time, because we didn't know.
Which time was this?
It was not so last month,
Last month.
from the 11th to the 15th.
Okay.
And as you can clearly follow, these were covered regulations.
But
50
what was
people.
its main objective?
The main objective was to bring back education, the purpose of it. Our learners were somehow getting this thing that they will always be pushed forward, that they will always just whatever happens. But the career week was like, listen, everything might be happening, but you still need a profession out there.
Yes.
And they needed to hear it from the people that are in the
fields,
in the departments, people that understand the technicalities of this thing, that regardless of the challenges around, we need to produce food, we need to grow, we need to do everything. We need doctors. So the world is not going to come to a standstill because of global pandemics or everything.
Yeah.
That it was actually a platform to build resilience and just let's build where we are. Let's grow.
Absolutely.
Let's grow.
Jonas, man, you're doing so many amazing things. And you know, I really want to use this opportunity for you to just look into this camera here and just encourage the young person who's really just really inspired by you right now and invest in their times just like yourself.
Yes. The young people, its potential is beautiful. It's if you just explore that and give value for value, being, I think, self to oneself and just trusting yourself, it really helps you get the necessary energy.
Yeah.
Because I believe in frequencies, I believe in energy, that the more you put out there, it's the more that you get. And always just trust yourself, and there will be some defeats, there will be some victories, but those shouldn't be the reason for living. It should be, who am I? Because I always tell myself, like, if you don't know who you are, you can never become who you want to be. You can only become who you think you are.
Yeah.
And that is that belief, and that is the energy that will always be surrounding you. And learn to survive also on your own.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of support that we demand, or emotional deficits that we always want to be accommodated, but also our reliability,
Yes.
self-awareness, and get the true potential of your skills and strength, put that together and just explore them. If you know that you are good at something, make that a market, make it a profitable market for yourself, and build a positive image. Because young people, like you said, what is that we can take away? It's we don't need the negative energy that much. And I believe negative energy, it kills potential and it buries skills.
Yeah.
But if you put positivity out there, it's you have developed this I am tomorrow. And that's the attitude I want to encourage my kids, even the ones that I teach swimming. It's swimming, but it's building a stronger psychological platform, like for themselves. It's swimming. But the mindset, it's evolving. Because now you teach small kids, 6-year-old, to swim in the ocean. What does that tell the parents? And this child becomes so brave that they don't even see the dangers of the waves. I'm sorry, Windhoek audience, but my kids,
There's no water here.
you come down to the coast, and then when you see them, they touch you, and then they're like, this
Yeah.
first of all, it's cold,
It's cold.
and then it's dangerous.
Right.
So, but it's a beauty.
You're enjoying your stay in Vinti so far, yes?
Yeah, I am. But today I was telling my friends, listen, tomorrow I am going home. I'm supposed to go back Sunday.
Okay.
But I'm already Saturday. I'm going back home.
Ah.
Because the heat gives me a bit of headaches. I've stayed in too much cold environments, and
You have adapted there now.
yeah.
So Jonas, thank you so much for making the time today, man.
Nah,
It's
thank
been
you.
great talking to you.
No, it's lovely.
Man, I don't know how to end this, but of course, for us to really just, think beyond our thoughts and really just want to do better, much bigger things. We're at the Katakombe restaurant here, having a great time. It's a great place. You can have great meals over here. If you want to come check out this place, please come through. It's a wonderful place. For me and my production crew, Top Notch Media was supporting me all the time. Shout out to him. Thank you so much for making the time to watch this episode. Make sure to subscribe, like, share this video. Help us reach a lot of young people and just get them motivated, uplift them, and create more better content. My name is John Ikondja. Peace to the planet. Protect your peace. Ciao.